Hello, everyone, and welcome to the information session on Universidad Iberoamericana. My name is Bobby Wilson Jr., and I'm the Senior Study Abroad Advisor here at Loyola Chicago. I do all of our advising for Mexico, and so excited that you're able to join us today. A little bit of an overview of what we're going to be talking about. I'll review what an exchange program is. I'll review some of the eligibility requirements and a little bit about the application process through Loyola specifically. We'll review the finances for exchange programs. We'll talk about the course approval process. And then we're going to do a program overview led by the on-site staff at Ibero. And we also have Cameron here, who's an alumni of the program, to hear a little bit about his experience as well. And so just to start off, what exactly is an exchange program? And so an exchange program is your opportunity to take courses abroad for credit, and you're actually at a local international university. In general, exchanges are a really great opportunity for students who are really looking to immerse themselves in the local culture, network in your field in general, and really experience firsthand what an international university is like. When it comes to this program specifically, if you do want to take courses in English, most of them would be in the areas of business, marketing, international relations, and global studies. The remaining courses are in Spanish, and there are some language requirements, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. When it comes to when you can actually submit an application, applications for fall and academic year, which is like going all of junior year, going all of sophomore year, etc. The Loyola applications for fall and academic year always open in early December, the year prior. So like right now, our fall 2026 applications will be opening in early December. And if you're interested in going during the springtime, applications will be opening in early July. Those applications are pretty consistent, so just keep that in your mind. Most of our programs are rolling admission, so the earlier that you apply, the better. There are some general eligibility requirements for exchanges. So first and foremost, there is a 3.0 GPA requirement. Exceptions to that are reviewed on a case-by-case basis. Next, students have to be in overall good standing with Loyola Chicago, so no holds on your account, no pending disciplinary charges, things of that nature. In addition, you have to have completed at least 12 credit hours at Loyola before you're actually able to receive an admissions decision. And then for this program specifically, if you want to take courses in Spanish, it is required that you have B1 level. There are some exams that we would send you information on that you would need to take to show that you have at least B1 level. That would grant you access to take a B2 level Spanish course, plus any area studies courses that you wanted in Spanish. As a reminder, if you're taking courses in English, there's no language requirement. When it comes to the Loyola application process, once you start an application, most of what you'll need to do is signing the different policies and procedures related to study abroad and signing that you agree. Outside of this, there's only a few additional items that you'll need to complete. One of them is to write a short essay that's less than 500 words, just outlining what are some of your goals related to study abroad. Next is you'll have to have a recommendation submitted on behalf of your academic advisor. Next, you do have to have a valid passport to apply to the program. If you don't have a valid passport, you also can upload a receipt that shows that you've paid for a new passport or that you've paid to renew your passport. And then typically for most exchange programs, students may receive their admissions decision as late as 2 weeks after the deadline has passed at the absolute latest. Let's jump in a little bit about the financial information as well before I hand things off to the Ibero staff. For all exchange programs, including this one, you are paying the Loyola tuition price. So the tuition is the exact same amount as when you're on campus at Loyola Chicago. The tuition is also billed right to your locus account, the same way that it always is. And then finally, you are able to utilize all of your federal aid, state aid, and Loyola aid for this program, which are merit-based scholarships. So essentially, any financial aid that you receive at Loyola Chicago, you can bring with you on this program. I would also argue that the cost of living in Mexico City is a lot less than the cost of living in Chicago. So when it comes to things like, transportation, food, housing, you are very likely going to be spending less in Mexico City than you are going to be here in Loyola Chicago. Of course, this can depend a little bit on your spending preferences, but this is kind of a generality, and I will let the on-site staff and Cameron speak a little bit about this. And then finally, when it comes to courses abroad, any course that you want to take for your major, minor, core, engaged learning, or honors, you do need to get approved in your portal. We recommend before departing for your program. The course approval process lives inside of your study abroad application. And then any course that you don't get approved will transfer back to Loyola as general electives. All the courses that you take abroad have to be for credit, and you need to be enrolled full time when you're in Mexico City, which is the equivalent of 12 US credits. With that, I want to hand things off to Brenda, and Brenda will share some information about Ibero. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Bobby. Thanks a lot for the introduction, and such a pleasure to see Cameron again, who again is an alumni who was not only a great student but a great part of our community as well. So part of the experience is engaging to the community here at the university. And Arlette, I hope this information is appealing and interesting to you, so you can share it, or if you have any further questions, you can make them either to Bobby, Cameron, Brenda, or to me, and we'll be very happy to give you all of our insights and experience. So let me start by sharing our presentation. And despite the distance, welcome to Ibero, welcome to Mexico City, which is our pleasure to greet you all and be able to host not only for this 5-6 months that you will be spending here at our country, but to have this experience, as Bobby says, that transforms and brings to your international profile different assets, different capabilities, and not only for being also a Jesuit university like yours, but to share many things that you might have heard about Mexico, that you might feel that you know about Mexico because you relate to the culture or you have any interests. So I don't know, Arlette, if you could share also, tell us what you heard about Mexico in particular that makes you interested in this session. If you are able to speak, that's fine. Otherwise, if you can write some words at the chat, that would be more than great. Both Bobby and Cam are witnesses that Mexico is full of color, full of traditions, full of different spices and tasty food, and many of the things that bring foreigners and even people from other parts of the country to our city is the fact of engaging to a new culture, to engaging to a place which has faced and hosted several civilizations, hosts many people from among the world. The good thing of being at the capital of the country is that everybody lives here, everybody happens here, everything is here. So we can go 45 minutes away and we are on an archaeological site, and we have the only castle in America, but also we have very modern museums and very trendy areas that make the city one of the most livable in the world. Actually, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the trend, I don't know if we remember that all of the artists back in the early 1900s, they tended to go to Europe to explode their artistic side, their artistic views. But nowadays, in this 2025, these new spaces are Asia Pacific and Mexico, particularly Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Mexico. So you will be surrounded by many different cultures, and thanks for sharing that you have family here and you have visited several times. I don't know in which part of Mexico your family is, because that's another very different thing. All of the 32 states in Mexico are completely different. So as you have the opportunity to engage to our traditions, to our different types of food, or the different types of activities that we will be hosting for students, our university and our city will be committed to give you this many opportunities, again, considering the academic part, but also the personal and cultural and all of the probably relations you might have to the country. Again, just as Loyola, and many other universities also in the States. Ibero is entrusted to the Society of Jesus with more than 80 years, that's been said. It's recognized not only to be, again, in this country, in the capital, but to be one of the most important private institutions of higher education, private education in Mexico. So again, just as our Jesuit values that we share, we are always committed for the inclusion, for production of peaceful society, commitment with service, and inspired by all of these authentic human and social values. We have 38 undergraduate programs, just as Bobby said. Some of them are taught in English, particularly, and I share this with Bobby, this is the first semester that we launched our degrees in international relations and global business taught fully in English. So as the semesters go, courses will be starting to open, but in this moment you can find, depending on your Spanish level, any degrees on social humanities and economics, architecture and design, engineering, business studies, and health. Know that you'll be among a population of around 10,000 students, and we receive 320 students per year as international students. So you won't be the only one wandering around. Know that you are, again, part of our community, which will be happy to host you. And, well, being in the sixth biggest city in the world, just after Sao Paulo and Shanghai, give you many things to do. Again, telling you about a little bit our degrees. I don't know if you could write us on the chat. What's the degree that you study right now at LUC? Depending on the degree, the good thing that we have is that you're able to register courses from any degree. Despite you study, I don't know, history, you can take courses in business administration, or if you take computer science, you can also take courses in accounting. So know that you can mix all of these courses. Oh, look, cybersecurity, good example. In your case, we, for example, have had students that makes courses from communication, from computer and telecommunication technologies and data science, or data science and finance, depending on your focus. So know that all of these courses will be in Spanish, but will give you several types of perspectives. Again, the student life is also important. You'll be here probably half of the day. So know that all of the facilities at campus are completely free. You can use all of our services, all of our sports fields, representative teams, the labs, the gym, the banks, cafeterias. In the language center, you can either improve your language, second language, or third language if you want. And also a very important thing is that we try to engage foreign students with local students. So we make many activities for you to know local students, because getting to know Mexican students is also really important. In these activities, and again, engaging with the students and with the rest of the participants, we organize several activities either for the weekend or for the day. Everything is optional. Obviously, it has an extra cost, but it gives you the opportunity to travel with your friends, to go to touristic sites that are close to the city, and which are always a very nice place to spend the weekend at. We will show you a brief video about our campus so you can get to know, and Cameron will have some good recollections about this video. Well, both Bobby and Cameron know our campus. Sorry. And so you might recall some of those spaces because, again, this experience gives us the chance, as at the Office of Ibero Exchange, to be in close attention to students throughout their entire process, not only in the sessions or on the welcoming session, but along the process, we will be giving you counseling in any question that you might have regarding the process, the welcome day throughout your stay, how to select your courses. On the first day, we always give an orientation day where, first of all students meet. We do some on-site activities and then leave you very ready for for your first day. Um, During at least once a month, we make a cultural activity either here at campus or outside. So we always try to give you in advance the date so you can save the date and your budget. And also note that despite we don't have dormitories or residences here at campus, we have a program which helps students to look for accommodation either on the list of approved providers that we have, or as part of the Ibero housing program, which is a service that we give to students so they don't need to do a contract or make a deposit. We, as intermediaries, pay to the providers. So the only thing that you would need to decide is which provider to choose and where to stay, and we'll be able to help you with all of your accommodation process. Talking about a little bit of expenses, and just as Bobby was saying, it all depends on the times you like to eat outside, the times you like to travel during the weekends or a month. But approximately housing in the area of Santa Fe where Ibero is located is between $300 and $550 per month. Food, it depends if you like to cook and go grocery shopping or you want to eat here at campus, but you would be spending between $140 and $200 per month. Transportation, if deciding to live close to campus, it's going to be more cheap as you will take a public transportation, which is less than $1. It's like 50 cents. So every commute between the campus and the houses around campus are like 15 minutes away, which is the thing that we most recommend. Otherwise, if you live further from campus, there is a transportation service, which is called the Ibero bus that you saw in the video. It has a cost approximately of $155 per month. It depends the times you use it. Books and supplies, again, it depends on the type of materials you're asked. And well, all of the leisure activities and free time that you would like to spend. Again, it depends how much you want to travel or to get to know the city. Just as Bobby was saying, I know that your timelines are different, but just to be aware that our deadlines for the spring semester is November and for the fall semester is June. So depending on the semester that you will be interested, we always start classes on the first week of January. Orientation is the first week of January to start classes the second week of January, and in August, orientation is on the first week of August to start on the second week of August. So again, please do not hesitate in contacting us. We'll be putting our emails on the chat. Follow us on our social media or social networks, and hope to see you not only for this time, but for many other times. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yeah, before we ended, I also just wanted to let Cameron take a minute to talk a little about his experience as somebody who actually did the program. And so, Cam, if you want to share a little about what your experience was like, what some of the highlights were, I think that would be really helpful to hear as well.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I did the program last spring, and it was amazing. Is like the best way I can describe it. But um, I did like the Ibero like housing program, so I stayed with like a host, and that was an amazing experience. She was like the sweetest, and I can confirm like everything they said about like the prices and everything is definitely a lot more affordable. Um, and you get to try like so many different kinds of foods. And I would say if you choose to do it, the number one thing is like be adventurous and like trying things that maybe you're like hesitant to try, but you can eat crickets and like liver tacos and like things like that where maybe you wouldn't have ever tried them here. But um I guess another highlight would be I didn't do a lot of like the Ibero sponsored trips with like my classmates, but I did do some like traveling with like other friends. And so I do like weekend trips to Oaxaca or to Yucatan, and those were excellent and so much fun. And that's another thing, if you can explore, one, the city has like so much that every weekend I would try to like go out and see something new. And then of course, there's the whole other part of the country that you don't even get to see. So I would highly recommend trying to take a bus or, just get somewhere even an hour outside of the city and you can see so many cool things. Um, but yeah, I mean, Ibero, the campus, I loved. It was amazing. No complaints about like the campus and the facilities. Like it's so beautiful and there's like everything you could possibly need. Um, and Yeah, I mean, if you have any questions for me specifically, I'm also happy to answer those too.
Great. Well, if there aren't any questions, maybe what we could do, Cameron, if you want to just leave your Loyola email in the chat, and then
Totally.
maybe they can write you if they have any questions. Great. All right. Well, I'll stay on for another minute just in case folks have additional questions. But if not, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have a great week, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you all, and I hope to see you, not only Arlette and Avi, but many other Loyola students.